Hello, everybody. Good morning to some of you. Good evening to some of you as well. Welcome to Dodgers territory on the Foul Territory Network. I am Alanna Rizzo. That is Clint Pasillas. It was the Muncy game, Clint Pasillas,
That was the
and a
Freddie
very
game. It was the
bad
Matt.
route by Brandon Nimmo. And good job, Freddie Freeman. What is up, CP?
You know what? I'm feeling good. I did not have a walk off in my bingo card today. That game just had a lot of bad in it. I mean, the game opened so good. Dodgers put up 4 runs in the first inning, and then they forget to do more baseball against Tyler McGill. But all things considered, if you're getting free baseball, it went the way you want. You got a clean inning from Tanner Scott in the bottom of the 10th or top of the 10th, and then walk Shohei. We know that never really works for other baseball teams. It wasn't Mookie this time. This time it was Freddie giving the Dodgers the walk-off at home.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know that my heart can take these games anymore. And that's what Cole is saying in our chat. Cole says, my heart cannot take these games. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Again, contribute. We love having your
Yeah.
opinions and your thoughts and everything going on with the game. And also, thank you, everybody. We hit 10,000 subs, and that's a big deal for us. So thanks to everyone for that. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars, like all of the things. All right, let's break this down. Game 61. Back-to-back games, Clint, that go to the 10th inning. Didn't work out for the Dodgers yesterday. It works out for them tonight. Clayton Kershaw, a little bumpy today in the
Yeah.
start. Again, not necessarily helped by Max Muncy's errors, but what do you take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the Kershaw side of things, I don't want to immediately dive into the negative. I guess he gave the team everything he could with his outing today. I would prefer to be happy for a little bit, just thinking about Muncy having a hell of a game, 2 homer game, 3 RBI game, 5 homers in his last 3 games. Dude is on an absolute tear. OPS over 9. I think it's probably closer to 930 now since being a season low 167 on April 27th. Dude is on a fire. He's absolutely on fire. Defense also a little bit suspect, so we get into the negative, and that's kind of the interweave of this game. Like, it shouldn't have gone to extras. It probably shouldn't have gone to extras. It shouldn't have been this type of game, but whatever. We'll take the win. That's where we're at.
Yeah, but
What's
talk
your
about
immediate
the
takeaway?
atonement, though. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about the atonement for Max Muncy. I mean, he had that error, the ninth of the season for him. That's not good. You don't want those types of numbers next to your name when it comes to the big E. But I mean, he did have 2 home runs in the game, and if it weren't for the second home run, the game wouldn't have been tied. We wouldn't have had the opportunity to win this game. So Max Muncy taketh and Max Muncy giveth away. But he made up for the errors, literally and figuratively. Again, it's the costly error that led to those 2 runs that when Kirsch was still on the hill, forcing Kirsch to throw some more pitches, forcing Kirsch to have to leave the game with, at the time, was a loss. But you know what? That's okay. And they came back, and here we are. So I'll
Yeah.
take it. It was ugly, but I will take it. And thank you again, Freddie Freeman. You are the man.
You are the man. We also got a super chat from our friend Richie Flores, who is on vacation right now in Alaska. He says Dodger wins are better at 43 degrees in Alaska. Appreciate the comment. Appreciate you hanging out with us, Richie. Fritz, also with the 4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Says Clayton Kershaw is not done. 73.91% of the Mets got strike one on the first pitch they saw. Need to see that going as much as they can. Have Dodger starters going deeper into the game. Go Dodgers. I gave up on reading it halfway through. I apologize for that. But listen, let's talk Kirsch for a second, because like you said, Muncy giveth for the Dodgers, but he also taketh away for Clayton Kershaw there. Kirsch goes 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 of those earned, 3 walks, only 2 Ks on the season. Could throw that up for us as well. Not his best outing, his 4th outing, a tough outing for 22. Still missing that put away pitch, and I think it's becoming more and more evident. That first inning, a wild pitch ends up costing him. He's given up runs in each of the first or each first inning in each of his first 4 starts coming back. Gives up the 2-run homer to Soto, and then of course gets chased early in the 5th because of that, or at least thanks in part to that Max Muncy error. Which, again, that's another sub-conversation about the Muncy defense. We should talk about that. But with Kershaw, I don't know. What are you seeing with Clayton? You're somebody who has watched this dude, for the entirety of his career. You covered him very, very closely for a long time. Where are you at in summarizing Clayton over his first 4 starts back from injury and surgery?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're coming off of two surgeries in the offseason, but you're also talking about Clayton, I think, is 37 years old, and he's definitely towards the end, if not the end of his career, in terms of maybe this is the last year for Clayton Kershaw. I still think that he knows how to compete. I still think that he knows how to pitch. He's not as effective as he used to be, and he's not automatic as he used to be.
Yeah.
This is something that, you see Dave Roberts probably could have taken him out maybe batter earlier, but it also speaks to the resume that Clayton Kershaw has and the faith and the respect that Dave Roberts has for Clayton Kershaw. I think that this is an issue with he doesn't have that unbelievable devastating curve anymore. I mean,
Hmm.
Clayton Kershaw has always been a guy that if he pitches to contact, he has a lot of ground ball outs, and he doesn't have that curveball as effective as it used to be, and he doesn't have that swing and miss as much as he used to be. But I still again, this is not an ace anymore, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me to say that about Kirsch, but I still think he gives you a chance to win every single time he takes the ball. Again, the errors didn't help, but he's just not the same. He's not the same Kirsch, but I still feel better with him in our rotation than I do without.
Yeah, like we talked to Mark Pryor about a couple weeks ago. I think having the adult in the room helps the team in some way, shape, or form. For me, as somebody who watches this team both as a fan and somebody who's covered it now for the last decade ish or whatever, it really does suck to see Kershaw at this point. I don't think he's done yet. I think I wouldn't say far from done from seeing Clayton Kershaw, but he's still ramping up. But at the same time, again, it's kind of sad to see time catch up to the greatest pitcher, at least of my generation, some dude that I watched throw that very first curveball to strike out Sean Casey in a spring training game, all the way back at Vero Beach when the Dodgers used to have spring training there, up to and including winning a couple of World Series, getting robbed of a couple of World Series, watching him have every kid in the world that you could, I think, legally have with his wife Ellen Kershaw. Like, you've grown up with this dude. You're seeing the gray in the beard. You're seeing him still fight and struggle and compete and want it. He's not going to be happy with himself. And that's the thing that makes me the most excited about Clayton Kershaw, is that he's not going to be happy, and he's going to want to do better, and he's going to keep trying to challenge himself. And we had a conversation last season with Fabian Ardaya where I said, kind of erroneously, Clayton finds a way to reinvent himself. No, he stays exactly the same. He just needs to get back to being that guy. He needs to get that curveball. He needs to get that slider going again, and needs to get maybe just a little bit more separation between that fastball and the slider, along with the fastball command. And he can go back to being somebody that is perfectly good for this Dodgers starting rotation for the next few months. And if things go really sour, maybe even into the postseason. But I'm not selling my Kershaw stock just yet.
No, I never will. I'll never sell my Kershaw stock. Again, he's not the same guy he was a couple of years ago. And I
Yeah.
get that. He's not an ace anymore. He's not your number one, but I still think that this guy can give you a chance to win every single time he takes the ball. And the Dodgers need him, honestly. I mean, again, if every single person was healthy in this Dodgers starting rotation, maybe that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But they're not. And Clayton Kershaw is going to do whatever he can to give you as much length as possible.
And it tells you as much because he's undergone the knife all these times, this late into his career, to have never had any sort of major surgeries. And now for, back-to-back years, or I think it's 3 of the last 4 years or whatever it is, he's had, significant surgeries, the shoulder and then the knee and the foot last year. Like, he realized at a certain point, I'm not done. He wants to go out on his own accord. At the same time, he's also told us a number of times he doesn't want to feel like an impediment for this team. And I don't think he's there yet. He's going to figure it out. It's only 4 starts, but still, he needs some help behind him as well. So we should talk more Muncy. We could talk more positives when we come back. But first, we are going to hear from our friends at Foul Territory.
T-Fan, by now, if you're buying, selling, trading, collecting cards, Arena Club is the spot. We've been talking about them all season long, but I do want to focus on the slab pack experience, Kratz, since you've been ripping some slab packs digitally. And what happens?
I mean, as a kid, you wanted to rip open the packs. How can they do this digitally? Oh, baby. This is exciting. How the graphics come out and everything. And oh, yeah, the card that you pull, you can actually get that, John, physically. So it's perfect. It's all in one place, and it's a super exciting experience.
Yeah, they send that to you from the vault if you want it. But if you look at it and you're like, it's not the card for me, I want to sell back, go for it. You can do any of that on Arena Club, and you can acquire the best value for your money with those slab packs, transparent checklists, and Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/FAL and use code FAL. arenaclub.com/FAL. Use code FAL.
We back.
Yeah, thanks, Arena Club. We appreciate you. All right, Mookie Betts. I didn't know what to expect, obviously, with the stubbed toe. Mark Wiener, our producer and our boss and all the things, was like, how many flashlights do you think have been put in Mookie Betts' locker because of the stubbed toe incident, getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom? Bro, you make $1 gazillion. Get some nightlights.
You know, I would think you could hire somebody to pee for you in the middle of the night. The amount of money this kid is making these days. But not a bad game coming back off the IL. Didn't see any sort of thing that bugged him with that toe when it came to running, when it came to offense, when it came to defense as well. I loved in the first inning, you know, he leads off at least his game with a single to right and scores on the Freddie Freeman double, scores from first, and my friend Gail Johnson threw this one up there. Freddie to third on 1.5 ankles. Mookie scores from first on 9 toes. These guys are incredible. When we were all happy in the first inning, but yeah, I love seeing, you know, as much as I would be like, hey, like I said on our last show on Monday, like maybe giving him a little bit more time. It's clear there wasn't going to be much more healing to come from 1 or 2 or 3 more days. Like Dave said, like he said, it's a pain tolerance thing. And like he told Kirsten Watson before the game today, listen, that the pain just kind of stopped after 48 hours. So he's feeling good and he's good to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing that Oral and Joe were talking about in the Scott Braun is up. What are you doing? Oral and Joe were talking about it in the broadcast. It's not so much, you know, while he's running, it's the starting and the stopping. And it didn't seem like he was having much of an issue with that. Obviously, he was running yesterday to test it in the game today after being out of the lineup for 4 games. He looked great. And I thought maybe he was going to be the hero in the 10th inning for the Dodgers. Turns out Scott says, I'm lit, Alanna. This series is heat.
Sounds like a Mets fan. It's been a good series right now. I mean, this is the type of series so far that we are watching that you would love to see happen again in the NLCS or something like that. Like if it's not Dodgers, Padres in the NLCS, you'd love to see something like this. You'd like to see both teams be maybe a little bit more healthy, maybe a little bit more clean, playing a little more cleanly. Again, that play, embarrassing attempt by Brandon Nimmo to end that game.
Oh my God, what was that route?
I see. It's also Scotty had put this in the chat as well. What about sending Andy Pages to the moon? I'd said,
nope, we're not doing that anymore.
I said to you and Mark just before we went live, I said that route was shades of April Andy Pages right there. It was pretty rough.
He's really improved though defensively, and obviously Andy Pages has been pretty dang good at the plate. You know who else I was excited for is Tanner Scott. This is exactly what Tanner Scott needed, Clint. This is not only what Tanner Scott needed, this is exactly what the Dodgers needed. I mean, this is something that when you are down as many arms as they are in the bullpen, and this guy has given up, had some blown saves recently, and obviously has, been talked to a lot after the game about what's going wrong. This is exactly what he needed to do, and everything went right for him. And you think about the fact that Evan Phillips is now on the IL, Michael Kopech is still on the IL, Kirby Yates is on the IL, Blake Trinan is on the IL. I mean, who am I missing? All these people are down. So Tanner Scott is our closer. Dave Roberts doesn't have anybody else, and he did exactly what he needed to do today.
That's the key thing right there, is that he had very few others ready to go. Of course, having to go to Ben Kasparius.
No, there's no options, right? Yeah. There's no options, and Tanner Scott needed to get back to why they signed him to that 1 year, $22 million deal, or 2 years, or whatever the heck it was. The point is, he pitched really well tonight.
The funny thing is, I was expecting it because this has been his pattern in recent weeks. Over his last now 8 appearances, he's given up runs, gone clean, given up runs, gone clean, given up runs. So last night he gave up runs. The process of deduction there tells you that this would be a clean outing, and it was, and he set the stage for a win and for a Dodger walk-off, which is what we did. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up button for a Dodger win.
So what does that mean for him tomorrow then? And another save opportunity.
I mean, he's probably down tomorrow. I don't think they're going to have him go 3 games in
All
a
right,
row.
let's not.
But
Okay, semantics. The next time he comes out, then is what I'm
well,
talking about.
I'm really hoping he breaks the cycle and decides to, pitch another clean outing, and let's start a run of clean outings like he had earlier in the season. I think he had a stretch where he gave up 1 run. Well, I can look it up right here. He gave up 1 run over 17 outings or something like that. Yeah, over 17 appearances, just 1 run. He needs to get back on that kind of path, and hopefully this was it. Because one of the things I did like about Tanner today was that he didn't seem to be as in the strike zone, which has been something that people have harped on a lot about him. He's always been kind of a nibbler, try to get people to chase, and he was low, he was away, he was high, and it worked. It worked for him.
Yeah, it did. He looked good. I was very pleased. I when Alex Vestia was coming out, I was like, okay, let's see what's going to happen here, because he has been a little shaky too. Again, but they don't have a plethora of arms to choose from, and it's not a situation in a bullpen where they can think about. A ton of different matchups and left-handed versus right-handed. I mean, they just need arms. They need arms. And that's why Luis, Arena is here. That didn't work out real well. That type of situation.
He was fine. He made his debut. It didn't allow a run. Dave decided to pull the Banda card, pull that arm or whatever to bail him out, and it worked in the 9th inning or whatever. Another arm. These Dodgers are just going through dudes right now.
That's the thing. They're looking for bodies. They're looking for heartbeats right now.
I think what is happening is Brandon Gomes and Andrew Friedman both have like Facebook Marketplace open, but they're looking for pitchers. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And it's like when the bros
Facebook Marketplace is a dangerous place. Like, I mean, you can get murdered for a $5 toaster. Like, it's just not really worth it. It's just not really.
Don't go buying $5 toaster. Alanna, if you need a toaster, let me know. I got you, fam.
I will. I appreciate that very much.
Let's take one more break, and then I do want to come back and talk more Max Muncy, because I did see our friend Scotty Braun pointing out as well in the chat, not to make this the all Braun chat, but pointing out like, hey, remember when everybody wanted to send Max Muncy to the moon? Yep. It's the feelings are
it's because he can see now that he's doing well, but defensively he's got to shore some things up. Yes, much more to talk about that when we come back again from our friends at Foul Territory.
Hey, if you want to keep the conversation going after a show that you're listening to on the FT network, then head to Chat BCC. AJ's on there.
I'm on there right now, typing away. I'll be there. We'll be there all the time, talking about what topics people want to discuss, what everyone wants to hear us talk about on Foul Territory.
Yeah, if you have a question, we can answer it on FT or on an FT team show on the network. So if you want to come crash our group chat, it's as easy as sending a text. Head to foulterritory.chat to start chatting with FT hosts and the FT fam.
Of course, we signed up as well for the Chat BCC. Do check that out, and all the other ads and promotions that you hear when you're watching the show or listening to the show. Thank you for supporting the people that support us and the Foul Territory Network, and also thanks for supporting us again, getting us to 10,000 subscribers. Max Muncy, we got to talk Max Muncy, because again, since the glasses, since he could Muncy things again, he's been on fire with the bat. We already talked about that, but again, the defense. 9 errors now on the season. That's second most in baseball. Funny enough, you know who the leader is? Manny Machado. So there's a little bit of something there. We're talking about a former Platinum Glove Award-winning third baseman having 11 errors versus Max Muncy at 9.
That's why they call it the hot corner, right? That's why they call it the hot corner. It's a tough place to play. And again, I'm not making excuses. I don't. He's got to get better defensively. It is what it is. But I mean, you're gonna keep him in the lineup no matter what because of the bat. It's not like you're going to take him out defensively. We have a DH. So Max Muncy is going to have to figure out how to play a better third base defensively. Again, he atoned for himself tonight with the bat, but the glove isn't good right now. I mean, I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if you take 1 billion ground balls over there. I don't know if I don't know how you fix it, but he definitely has to get better, because, it's one thing to have it in the regular season, but if that type of shit crap, creeps up in the postseason, then you're in trouble. And I mean, obviously this is a team that's going to get to the postseason, and those are the types of things in the postseason. They're typically very close games that's going to come back to bite you. So he'll figure, I mean, nobody feels worse about it than Max. I just don't know what the solution is.
They've had that conversation as well, and he's frustrated. Of course, Dave Roberts' front office is frustrated, but at some point, like there's not another option knocking down the door to play third base for this team. And no, they're not going to go trade for old man Nolan Arenado, who's not having a great season by his own right. Yeah, the defense is always stellar when you're talking about Nolan Arenado, but the bat is much below what Muncy is at, what he's providing right now. It seems to be a throwing issue more often than not for Muncy. So I know he's working with Chris Woodward on kind of getting the arm slot going there. But hopefully time kind of heals all wounds for him, because this team absolutely needs him. Like you're saying, you have those kind of errors in a big game in the postseason. It's an absolute gut punch. And we saw that with Kershaw. I mean, this is a dude who needs every amount of help he can get at this stage in his career. So hopefully he figures it out, man.
Yeah, I think the footwork is there. I think, his range has always been a little bit suspect. I just don't know, again, if it is the arm slot, if it is throwing, Gavin Lux had that issue too. I mean, that's why a big reason Gavin Lux isn't here is because he couldn't throw and he couldn't hit the target. So,
especially from short. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I know it's different angles. I know all the things, but again, you're going to keep Max in there, obviously, with that bat. I still think Max Muncy is going to hit 25, 30 home runs. He does it every single year, whether he has, a slow start or not. We're 60 games in. I certainly think that Max is going to have, probably 25 to 30 home runs again, but hopefully the defense improves, because it will certainly need to, because again, in a postseason game, that's tough.
All right. One last thing before we get out of here. Do you have an anointed player of this game?
I'm going to give it to Tanner Scott. I think he needed that. I think he really, I mean, the obvious is Muncy, but then again, you're talking about the errors too. So I think Tanner Scott needed that. And this Dodger team needed that. I mean, he had a very clean inning. He shut down what he needed to do. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad answer right there at all. I'm going the other way, or I'm going the first arm that came out of the bullpen, as I usually love to do. Let's talk about Benny Caps going, what did he pick up? 8 outs? 8 outs for this team. I mean, absolutely love this kid. Bailed out Kershaw there in that 5th inning, pitches the next 2 innings just perfectly clean. I do not know where this team would be without Ben Kasparius this year, and they need to find a way to clone him, because they could use 2 or 3 more of him.
That's the thing, that we're so banged up. That's the thing. Yeah, he's done a great job. No takeaway from him. I just think for mentally and moving forward, what Tanner Scott was able to do tonight is key. I think it'll obviously help him. He needed that big time.
Bigly, as the kids say. But I think that's about good. I mean, we feel good. Might as well celebrate. You can celebrate by hitting the hay, because it is quite early in the morning for you.
2 a.m. It's almost 2 a.m. But don't forget, guys, we are going to be back on Thursday. But since it's a 1:10 Pacific start in Los Angeles, a 4:10 start here, Clint and I are going to be back with another post-game show on Dodgers territory on Thursday. It doesn't make sense for us to go on at noon when the game starts at 1. So thanks for being with us again. Thanks so much for helping us get to 10,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys very much. Always love the chat. Dodgers have evened up the series. 2 more games against the Metropolitans. Still an opportunity to win the series. And Clint and I will see you on Thursday. Go Dodgers.
Bye.